everybody, I am Oscar W. Fitchett and welcome to episode 4 of Foreign Film Friday. And just before I get into this episode of Foreign Film Friday, I want to preface, just in case if you all didn't see Heelcast episode 25, where I explained there, but what happened there, I went to set up the light, the studio light for the podcast, knocked it over, and the light bulb smashed. It just shattered. So, that is why we've got some very basic, just kind of bad lighting right now. So, until I can afford to get a new light or a new bulb, we're just going to have to deal with this type of poor lighting, so sorry. Now, if you watched last week's Foreign Film Friday of The Red Turtle, I said that for the month of February, every Friday, for Foreign Film Friday, I'm going to be talking about foreign romance films since it's February. And I said last week that I was going to start it off with Jean-Pierre Jeunet's Amélie, which comes to us from the country of France. Now, I have just finished watching this film for the very first time, so my thoughts here are going to be literally just my impulse opinions from right after watching this film. So, Amélie. The first word that actually came to my mind when I finished watching this film was charming. This film is an absolutely charming film. And speaking of charming, let's go right into the premise and the story of Amélie. Basically, the plot of Amélie is there's this girl called Amélie, played by Audrey Tautou, who just kind of wants to bring good in people's life, but she does it in like the little ways. She brings kindness and good into people in the little ways. Like, she does all these little things for people that just brings happiness. For example, the first thing that she does in her apartment, she finds like this tin box, this metal box that was kind of stowed away, and she opens it, and then she sees all these little things, just these little things like this cyclist figure from the Tour de Force, and this photo of this person, of this boy who had this box, a photo from the 50s, and she just decides that she wants to find whose box this was, who was the boy from the 50s that left this box. And what she ends up doing, she ends up like leaving it in a place where this person would find it. And then this person finds this box and he's just overwhelmed. And he starts crying, and just all these memories start flooding back. And he starts thinking, and then he starts thinking to himself that I have a daughter and we lost contact. Last I heard, she had a son, and I should get back in contact with them. And all from Amélie finding this box in her apartment and being like, I want to find whose box that was. Now, one of the main things you do have to kind of talk about Amélie if you're going to talk about this film is how visually beautiful this is. From the directing, editing, and cinematography in this film is just fantastic. Like, the way everything is shot, just the colours are they just stand out, and they're just so vibrant, and it's just so appealing to look at. And the way the editor just edits certain shots, and everything just kind of flows well with the beautiful cinematography, and everything just flows. And the way Jean-Pierre Jeunet directs this film, like, he puts his little touch on the film, which just gives so much life to this film. This film just is always moving at a very whimsical pace. I don't know, like, this film it is a film that it's constant motion. It's almost like a constant motion. Like, there's no like still moments in this film. The film's just always moving. And another thing that has to be praised about this film is Audrey Tautou's performance as Amélie, because I mean, if it wasn't for her performance in this film probably wouldn't be nearly as like good as it is. What she gives to the character of Amélie is just so much joy. There's so much charm. There's that word again, charm. There's so much joy and charm to watch Amélie. She's like this naive, like very positive, like young lady who just she finds happiness in trying to get people to find happiness. She is very childlike, and she does have this, she's quite childish, but she does carry herself like an adult. But she definitely has like, she never really grew up, if that's the case. And it's great to watch a character like that who has grown up and she's living a life, but she's still got that like childlike sensibility about her. She's always kept that with her, which, I mean, it's a great character to watch through the whole film. And even all the other characters, they stand out as well. Like, everyone in this film, like, everyone has their own little quirks, and like they have their own thing about them. Like, there's every character, you're like, oh, and like, everyone's different. I just love the fact that this film is purely about being happy. Like, there's actually really nothing wrong with being like, just try to be happy. Like, there's a thing, like, with Amélie, like, she can't, like, she's trying to be in a relationship, but she just doesn't really connect with anyone. She's not angry or, like, vindictive to anyone. She's not like, men. She's just like, she just doesn't necessarily get pleasure within a relationship. So she finds all these little things to get pleasure from. Like, she gets some happiness of like dipping her fingers in like a sack of seeds, or like she finds pleasure from like skimming stones, or like using a teaspoon to crack the top layer of a creme brulee. Like, she finds these pleasures in doing these things, and like there's moments where she just walks by and she sees a stone and she picks it up, looks at it, brush it off, and just puts it in her pocket. And it's just, I don't know, there's something about where there's just always some warmth. That's what I love about this film. This film just gets the little things, you know, that like in life that just make like the little things that you get, like, that make you happy. But the director, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, like, he takes them, and the way he like directs them, it's like, it makes like this like euphoric experience almost. Like the shot of Amélie like cracking the top layer of creme brulee, it's like like, it's like, you as an audience, like, oh yeah, that's very satisfying. It almost makes you think, like, as a viewer, do you take things for granted in life? Like, just appreciate, like, the little things. Like, this film is just simply about appreciating the little things. And yet, like, during the stage of the film where Amélie, like, maybe starts to have some feelings for someone, she doesn't quite know how to handle it because she's like so like childlike and stuff like that. But it's not like she was just this miserable person and then she found someone and then she started being happy. She was always happy and she always had this optimism about her, and I just love that. Like, what's wrong with watching a film? Like, I love watching some like dark tales and just getting taken on this really dark journey. I also just love watching a film that's just all about being happy. And that's what Amélie is, from the acting, the characters, the writing, the story, the directing, the cinematography, the editing, the score, which is just, it's just so like, it captures a love and feel. This is the first time I watched this film, and I can definitely see myself watching this film again. It's a wonderful, charming film, and if you haven't seen it, then really do give it a go, because it is just like, it's like a rainbow on a rainy day is how I would describe Amélie. So guys, thank you for watching this episode of Foreign Film Friday. Again, apologies for the bad light. It's going to be like this for like a little while until I can get a light. Thank you all for watching this. Next week on Foreign Film Friday, I'm going to be talking about Amour, the Michael Haneke film. And as always guys, if you go in the description below, you can find links to everything you need with the Heel Crew, including Letterboxd and Twitter and Instagram. So guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, I shall see you later, and au revoir.